everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're here for the first time. I hope you're all doing alright today. So for today's build, we're actually going to be building a British house, or a British inspired house anyway. I actually saw this house in real life and I wanted to build it in The Sims. So like a weirdo, I stood across the street and took a picture of it. Obviously I can't put it on screen because like that's someone's actual house that lives near me, so I don't want to like obviously dox myself. But if you googled like, I don't know, new build, I think that this sort of house would like come up. I would say that a lot of houses are like this in England, like they pretty much all have the same layout, although this is a bit on like the posh side, so I imagine this would be like up there in price. It'd be a bit more like modern on the interior. I also did like a little extension thing on the back, and obviously it's got a garage on the side of it, which is not really that commonplace in England to have like a garage on the side of your house. We live on a little island, so all of our houses are built close together. That's why we have a lot of what's the word, like terraced houses and that. I live in a semi-detached, so it's like two houses next to each other, and the rest of my street is pretty much like that. It's like semi-detached houses. There's a few terraced houses here and there. That's like pretty commonplace, pretty standard in England, because like I said, we're a small island and there's lots of us, so we need a lot of houses in like small spaces. But this was actually a detached house, which you don't see that often, so definitely owned by someone with a bit more money, just because they tend to be more expensive, you can just like tell. And yeah, I thought I'd do like a modern sort of interior. Didn't pack restrict this build, I'm not gonna lie. I did use a lot of packs, which I don't tend to do builds like this where I just use whatever packs I want. So sorry about that if it uses a lot of packs and you don't have them. I'm not going to put the full details of them in the description just because there's a lot of them, but I will list how many packs it uses, so like the number. So if it's like 13, then I'll put like 13, I guess, in the description. But yeah, I tried to like use packs that I think people have, so things like Eco Lifestyle, I think that's quite a popular one, Get Together. I didn't use any kits. I did try and stay away from the kits because I thought if I'm using a lot of packs, I want to try and avoid the kits because I think they're a lot less like popular than say the stuff packs, for example. But like I said, I did use quite a lot, so yeah, sorry about that. Sorry if it's not, you know, if you can't download it. I mean, you can always download it and it'll hopefully replace the stuff that I put down with other stuff, because sometimes, I don't know if you know this, the gallery does that. When I used to download houses to play in like gameplay, when I did gameplay before I started my channel and everything, when I would like download, sorry if I'm like stuttering a lot, I've just realised I've like said a lot of non-words before I actually finished my sentence there. But yeah, I used to download builds from the gallery, and if I didn't have, basically I used to download builds from like Aveline, who also does like builds and that on YouTube. But yeah, I used to download her builds, and also Lil Sims's and Diligras's as well. And if I didn't have the pack, say if they use something from Jungle Adventure, for example, and they use the Jungle Adventure counters, sometimes the game will replace the counters with what you have. Usually it does it base game, but if it doesn't have base game, it'll use a pack as well, which is really useful. It doesn't always do it though. I don't know why, like it sometimes does it, sometimes doesn't. I'm not really sure why, but hopefully you get lucky and it does replace the items. So yeah, hopefully that's alright. But yeah, like I said, I don't often do these builds where I use loads of packs, but I just wanted to, I don't know, I didn't want to like restrict myself too much. I felt a bit like stumped creatively, like I didn't know what sort of build I wanted to do. I didn't know like what style I wanted, I didn't know where I wanted to build, who I wanted to like build it for, like the type of Sims and everything. So yeah, I'm feeling a bit like, I don't know, just a bit stumped, I guess, like creatively. I knew that I wanted to build like a house that was, I can't explain it, like for a family. Like I knew I wanted to build a family house, but then I was thinking like, I feel like I've done them a lot lately. I feel like that's like the main thing I've been building, like houses for families. So maybe I should try and build something else. And yeah, I am also meant to be building a high school, which my friend Jasmine Paris asked me to do. And yeah, I'm still put off by the fact. So I'll do it eventually. I'm thinking I might potentially do it on stream. I don't know. I just feel a bit like intimidated by it, which I've said every time that I've talked about it. But I am, like, it's such a big build and that's really out of my comfort zone. But I'm going to try. I'm going to look up a couple reference pictures. And we're going to build like a British school, but like, I don't know. I mean, the school I went to, it doesn't exist anymore. Well, the school does, but the building, that doesn't exist because it was like knocked down and like rebuilt it and everything. Which is like a common thing in England nowadays. Academies are taking all out job. Like, they just knock down the school, rebuild it. It's like a whole thing, but basically it was the most sort of boring shape you could imagine. Like, if you Google old English school, that'll probably be like what my school looks like. Maybe I should do that actually. But I was tempted to do like a typical sort of old Englishy type school, because most schools go back about like 10-15 years ago. Most of the schools were like really old buildings, and you could bet your life that your nan went to exact same school, and you'd be like, oh yeah, I've started down at such and such school, and your nan would be like, oh, does Mr. So and so still teach? And it's like, Nan, it's 2008. I don't think your geography teacher still works there. Like, come on. But yeah, but mainly my grandparents would ask because like my parent went to that school and their siblings and stuff. And I remember my granddad would always be like, oh, does Miss So-and-so work there? She were 8 cow. And I'd be like, Granddad, like, you can't say that, that's so mean. And then he'd tell me some awful story about like teachers and stuff, because like teachers used to be able to like hit kids and stuff. So when my mum were at school, that was sort of like not a thing anymore. It was sort of going away. But when my dad were at school, because he's like a couple of years older than my mum, very much happened every day for nothing as well. But yeah, that's a whole other thing. It's kind of mad though. My dad used to get smacked every single day with a cane on his hand for not having the correct uniform on, because my nana couldn't afford it because she had 5 kids, so she couldn't afford to buy a uniform. So basically, and she was aware that he used to get like a smack for it. And yeah, they went to school, got a smack every day. And that was that. And my dad was like, yeah, you just expected it. Like, you didn't have your right uniform on. That's what happened. And I was just a bit like, mate, as if that's... I mean, you laugh, but it's not funny, is it? It's quite like, I don't know, quite messed up to like think about. It weren't that long ago that happened. Like when my dad were a kid. Yeah, bit mad, but... Yeah, anyway, that's beside the point. I'm not really going to talk about whether it's wrong or right. I mean, obviously it's wrong. In my opinion, it's wrong. Corporal punishment should never be a thing. I don't agree with it in any way, shape or form. I don't care what the kid's done. Violence is not the answer. But yeah, there's a whole other discussion to be had in it when we're building a Sims build. I don't want to be going down that road. But yeah, for the interior, I did want it to be quite modern. I also didn't finish the exterior till the end. Like, I did that sort of last. Like, I started doing a bit of landscaping, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do, like tree wise and plant wise, like out the front. So I just did like a basic bunch of like plants out the front, and then I thought, oh, I'll come back to it, because I had a ton of ideas for the interior. And I've talked about this before, how if I get an idea for the interior, I just want to like start on it. I don't want to wait, because if I wait, then I might forget that idea and then I'll be like really annoyed. So for the living room, I already knew like the layout, and I wanted this like corner sofa, which is kind of similar to my house kind of, but like mirrored. And it very much reminds me of like my mum's living room. It's basically the same, but I use a different style. Like my mum has like a corner sofa, and then she's got her like TV on like a little unit thing in the corner, and then she's also got like a chair in the corner with like a industrial style lamp. She's also got a furry rug. Her living room's a little bit bigger than this, but not much bigger. So yeah, it very much mirrors, or copies should I say, my mum's living room, just because, I don't know, that's what happened. That was just my idea for it. Changed it around a little bit with the swatches and everything, but I'm really happy with how it turned out, and it does very much like remind me of I don't know how to explain it. Like, it feels quite nostalgic, even though it's just a build, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of just reminds me of my family somehow. But the layout for the house is very sort of typical English houses. I hope I'm not over explaining it, and I'm sorry for like my audience that lives in the UK. Believe it or not, most of my audience comes from the US, so I feel like I tend to over explain typical British things just because, like, I guess you're not gonna know. I don't know. I'm assuming, obviously. I don't know what people know and what they don't know. But I have quite a large portion of my audience come from the US, and then the rest of my audience, it's like 4% like from UK, and the rest is like all different countries. So yeah, might as well explain it. It's not gonna hurt, is it? But yeah, the layout is very typical. Usually when you walk through the front door, you've got your stairs that go straight up, like they're right in front of you. and then you've got like your bathroom at the top of the stairs, and then like bedrooms kind of around the landing area, and kitchen normally at the back of the house. So it's a very sort of typical English house, I guess, layout. And then I also did this like extension thing on the back where I put the dining area, which it usually is not that typical, but for this sort of house I feel like it is. Like I feel like these houses that look quite posh and like all done up, they usually have like an extension built on the back. Obviously I didn't see the back of the house in real life. The one that I saw that was the inspiration for this build, I didn't see the back of it, but I like to assume that they had some sort of extension on the back of the house, which is quite normal. Like I feel like as time's gone on, people have less kids. Like my grandparents, for example, my mum's mum and dad had 4 kids, and then my dad's mum and dad had like, did she have 5? I can't remember. It's this thing. They have that many kids. I'm supposed to keep track. I can't keep track of all these family members. But yeah, my nana and granddad on my dad's side, they had 5 kids, and then like their parents had like 9. Like my granddad on my mum's side, he had like 8 brothers and sisters, and it's just like, mate, how did you all live in like a 2-bedroom house? Because they didn't have 8 kids money, you know what I mean? Like they couldn't afford a house that fit 8 kids, so boys and girls would be sharing. Well, boys share with boys, girls share with girls, that sort of thing. But yeah, I feel like nowadays people tend to have less kids. Like you see more people just having 1 or 2, or 3 max. Probably because like cost of living and stuff. Like who can afford to have loads of kids? Not me. Barely can afford to have 2, and yeah. It's just one of those things, isn't it? I guess that just sort of happens. But yeah, I feel like with people having less kids, you tend to have like more space. So I don't know. I feel like people want like bigger houses and stuff. And also, I guess like even though cost of living is going up now, I feel like in recent years people tend to earn more than what they did back in the day. Like people from where I live were predominantly like working class, and everybody here comes from working class parents or grandparents. Like all my family's working class and everything. We don't really have people working like middle class sort of roles, like jobs and stuff. Not many people are like university educated. It's quite common to be like a labourer and work in like, I don't know, have some sort of trade. Like my dad's a mechanic sort of thing. Like that's like super normal. And like typical for this sort of area. But like as time's gone on, access to like higher education has become like easily achieved. Not really, it's like easier to get, I guess. But obviously when like our grandparents were like younger and our parents, it weren't as easy as it is now. I mean, it's not easy, but you know what I mean, in comparison it's easier. But yeah, I feel like with that happening more, people tend to be earning more, so they buy bigger houses, I guess. I don't know why I've gone down this road talking about chuffing being working class and all that sort of shit. I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk about the kitchen now, I guess, seeing as we're nearly done with it. Might as well start talking about it now. I will say my pettiness and stubbornness, I guess, is about to show in a second. I didn't have my red shelf installed. I think it needs updating, to be fair. I don't know what I've done with it, but it's not in my mods folder. It doesn't show up in the game. So typically I would normally put down a candle using the red shelf, but the candle was snapping in place, so I put down a candle in every single slot, then like moved it in place where I wanted it to be, and then deleted them all. I could have easily done this a lot easier. I could have just moved the side table out of the way and done it like that, but I chose not to. So yeah. I also put down some picture frames and that way when you take pictures you'll be able to have your Sims put pictures in those like frames and everything. They're from the Moschino stuff pack. I also put some down in the living room as well at the side of the graduation diploma type, whatever they are, those like wall hanging picture frame thingies. I put a couple down in there as well, and I figured that you could have your Sims like have photos of them graduating in those. You can put whatever photos you want, but I quite like that idea of having like family photos around the house. And yeah, I would like to do that more, but I don't want to use the Moschino stuff like frames. So the easiest way to do that is to just kind of like leave spaces for your Sims to like have it themselves, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, either way, thought I'd do that. And for the garage, I didn't want it to be a garage. I wanted it to actually be like a home office. So I imagine that the Sims have like converted the garage, or what once was a garage, into an office. And this is actually basically a carbon copy of a office that I did. I did it a while ago now. I made a short video out of it, And yeah, I think this actually became a Max's favourite on the gallery. I can't remember. I've just had another one. The family that I made for the artsy teen outfits, I also made a family for that sim and posted them to the gallery. Maxis actually favourited that household as well, which is cool. He's always a bit mad to me because I'll go on my gallery and I'll be like, why have I got like a bunch of new followers and why have I got loads of like new downloads? And then I'll go on to like the news bit of the gallery and it'll be like 200 people have downloaded, and I'll be like, what? Then I click on it and it's actually like thousands, and I'm always a bit like, oh fucking hell, and all comments are like, congrats on the Maxis fave, which I think is really nice that people do that. Obviously when Maxis the Sims team, when they like favourite a build or a household or whatever, everybody gets like notified. So if you're on the Sims at the time, it'll like come up. And also if you like search it up on Google, it'll come up as well. If you search the gallery, it'll come up on that, which is pretty cool. But yeah, whenever that comes up, people are always like, oh congratulations, well done, all that, which is like proper nice. It's like a nice little community thing that we have. But yeah, quite surprised that that was favorited. But yeah, either way, quite cool, and obviously I'm really grateful for that. It's always a bit like surreal because it's like, I don't know, it's like my special interest, and then for the people that obviously I know that the game developers are not scrolling through the gallery like actually, like I'm sure they have like a social media person, but it's still like a cool thing that happens, and yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, for the home office I basically just copied a room that I've already done before, just because I thought, why not? It were a big enough space, and why spend loads of time coming to new ideas when you've already got a build that you've done before, which, you know, I sometimes do that. I sometimes, you know, I do make a lot of rooms that I post on Instagram, if you didn't know. If you want to like follow me there, might as well plug that while I'm talking about it. But yeah, I sometimes make rooms in actual houses just based off rooms that I've already done before. This build actually took me ages to do, and it is actually like a bit of a longer video, and I've cut a couple of things out of it as well, just like decision making. Like you'll see a few cuts here and there as I'm scrolling through the catalogue, but originally it were going to be like over half an hour, which made me a bit nervous for the voiceover because I was a bit like, am I going to talk that long? But then I don't know why I doubt myself, because I've talked this long. I've been talking for nearly 20 minutes now and I've still not run out of things to say. I could talk for England, so don't know why I ever like worry, oh I'm not gonna be able to talk for that long. But yeah, I think it's because sometimes when I'm recording the voiceover, I'll go off on these like random tangents when I want to talk about the build, so I have to like cut that out and like start recording again. And I guess if it's a longer video, it takes longer to do that. I don't know. This video is already late because the build took me quite a while to put together, mainly because I couldn't really concentrate. I don't know what it was. I'll tell you about that in a second, but I do want to talk quickly about the kids' bedrooms that I did. Could either be a teenager or child Sims rooms. I imagine that the blue and yellow room was more like child focused, so I put a toy box in there, and this bedroom, this like peachy pink bedroom, is more of a teenager's room. But you could have any Sims live in them if you want to. But like I said, I did put a toy box in the blue and yellow room, which I quite liked. You know, for a small bedroom, I think it turned out alright. And again, the layout for this is basically the same as my mum's house. At the front, she's got like a little, what we call like a box room, like a box bedroom because it's small. And then like the main bedroom's quite big, and then there's another bedroom as well, which I would say they're about roughly the same size. It's the same in my house. I've got a 3-bedroom house. My office is the box bedroom. It's like a little small room, and then we've got 2 like actual bedrooms that are used as bedrooms. But yeah, I also wanted to put a TV on the wall, so I put the one from Get to Work, which I don't often use that often, I'm not going to lie, but I think it suited. I think it makes sense that in a small bedroom you'd have a TV on the wall. But yeah, what we're going to tell you about, distracted. I got really distracted yesterday. I will say though, I found a stream, well I didn't find the stream, somebody that I watch on Twitch, they raided my channel. I think that's how I discovered them, like a while ago. They're called Anna Glance, and they do a bunch of stuff. They do like crafting things and like other similar things to that, but they also do like productivity streams, which I didn't know were a thing. Don't know why I didn't think it were a thing, because I actually sometimes watch productivity, not even like productivity, but like I'll watch YouTube videos of people cleaning the house and stuff, and I usually put them on to like help me clean. and yeah, they're really like helpful. I have ADHD, by the way, so I sometimes struggle to get started on a task. So sometimes I need prompting from other people to be like, right, if you just do the pots first, and then you'll do like some washing or like laundry. I really struggle with switching between tasks and like deciding which task to do first or next, and I'm not very good at like prioritizing. And because I have ADHD, I also get distracted very easily. So I might start doing the laundry, so I'll go upstairs, I'll get the clothes out of the wash basket, and then in the bathroom, which is where my wash basket is, I'll see that the shampoo bottles are on the side. So I'll put the shampoo bottles away, and as I'm putting the shampoo bottles away, I'll see that there's a razor that needs throwing. So I'll take that downstairs, put it in the bin. Then I'm in the kitchen and I see that the pots need doing, so I'll run the water for that. As I'm running the water, I'll turn to the side and see that there's crumbs on the side from when like my partner made a sandwich before work and didn't have time to clean it up. So I'll clean the sides. And then as I'm cleaning the sides, I think, oh, I might as well clean the table. So I'll clean the table. But on the table, there's some keys. So I'll put my keys back. That's near the front door. As I get to the front door, there's a pair of shoes out of place. Like, you know what I mean? It just goes on and on and on like that. So that I have so many like unfinished little jobs. Like just, oh, it's just so annoying. But having a YouTube video where somebody's cleaning up, I'll copy what they're doing. So as they're cleaning the pots, I'll be cleaning the pots. As they move on, like roughly I'll finish at the same time, or I might rewind it and keep going until I've done. But roughly we'll finish around the same time because, you know, it doesn't really take that long. So I do that quite a lot, but I never thought to look on Twitch for that sort of stuff. But yeah, Anna raided my stream a while ago, so I like followed her back and everything, and I got a notification that she was live. So I thought, oh, I'll go check out what she's doing and everything, and saw that she was doing a productivity stream, which is really useful because it was basically just a stream of them like working, and they've got like a cute little background, and they also had like music on and stuff, and there was no talking. But every like 45 minutes, I think it was, they had like a chatting break where we'd be chatting, and really helped as well having the breaks like every 45 minutes, and it was like a 5-minute break. Super useful. And then at the end of their stream, she actually raided somebody else who's called Alice. Really, really helpful. Basically just a stream of them working on the computer, which I found was super helpful for me because I could physically see that they were working on a computer. And then again, every like 45 minutes, we'd have like a 5-minute break. And yeah, it was just super helpful. And yeah, just 10 out of 10 recommend if you struggle with like getting stuff done and just, I don't know, not getting distracted and that. Which is why this build took me a while, because the first day that I was building it, the Monday, I had the day to myself, my kids weren't home, and I still just didn't get it done. I focused on tidying the house, and I kind of hyperfixated on getting things cleaned up. And which is, you know, it's kind of a good thing. I got my house jobs done, the things that I needed to do and everything, but I really wanted to get this video done because I had that idea and everything. I just didn't really start it until like later in the day, and I knew I weren't going to get it done for the Tuesday, which is usually when I upload. So yeah, you know, it is what it is. But I will say, my sort of relationship with being productive, it can be like quite unhealthy. Like I'm neurodivergent, I'm autistic, I have ADHD, and I also have some like mental health stuff. So me being productive, it doesn't happen that often, and I can be really like hard on myself when I'm not productive. So I will say, like, it's not the be all and end all. Like, if you only get a little bit done in one day, that's fine, and it's okay to not like do all your tasks and do all your jobs. Like I didn't yesterday, I didn't get everything done that I wanted to do. There's always some unfinished task somewhere. I'm not a super productive person because I do get distracted. I also get quite overwhelmed when there's a lot to do. So sometimes, you know, if there's too much to do, I just do not know where to start. And if I haven't got somebody telling me, right, just do this, then I won't know where to start or what to do. The thing with the productivity stream or co-working stream, I guess, it's essentially body doubling. But yeah, the thing about that is like somebody telling me what to do because I'm watching them do it. And it also sort of incorporates parallel play as well, which is a common trait that autistic people have, where I tend to be more productive if somebody is doing something alongside of me, or I tend to, you know, do things alongside people rather than with them. So often me and my partner, we won't actually be spending time directly together, but we'll be doing separate things but at the side of each other, which is like really helpful for me. Like it allows me to spend time with somebody without actually putting any like brain thought into it, I guess. But yeah, this went on a bit of a tangent, didn't it? But I like talking about this stuff because I feel like a lot of people relate to it, because I think most people struggle with productivity and getting stuff done at some point, whether it's because you're autistic, you've got ADHD, some other like neurodivergency, or a mental health thing. Like I feel at some point most people will like relate to this, do you know what I mean? So I think it's good to talk about it and not like, I don't know, I feel like people get really sort of in their own head about it, like, oh, I've not done enough today, I've had a lazy day, I've had this, that and the other happen, or I've had a bad day so I didn't do anything that I planned to do, I didn't do my work, I didn't do my homework, my school stuff, like all of that stuff, house jobs, whatever. I feel like we tend to be like quite hard on ourselves for that, and you know, you should try not to be. I know it's easier said than done, and I know that like more than anyone. I'm telling you now, I am very hard on myself, like I said, if I don't get certain things done, and I'm quite unkind to myself a lot of the time if I'm not being productive, especially because like I don't have like a conventional job, like I don't work, I'm not employed, and it's kind of like sometimes I'll be like, well, you have no reason not to be getting loads of stuff done, which is, you know, it's not a good mindset to have, and you know, we should be more kind to ourselves, and just, you know, if we have a day where we don't get outdone, it'll get done eventually, like it's not going anywhere, it'll be fine, it'll get done, it'll get sorted. And if you do feel like you really need to be productive, I definitely recommend watching the streams that I mentioned. I'll put both of their Twitch channels in the description, but yeah, super helpful, like I said. But anyway, we are coming to the end of the video. I hope my little rant about productivity was helpful to some people. Don't be hard on yourself, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, if you need to have a day where you do nothing, do it. Even if you've got loads to do. Like, it's much better to come back to it when you're in a better sort of, like, mindset than try and force yourself to get it done when you're sort of struggling, I guess. But yeah, I do want to quickly talk about the back garden that I did. I put in a pool just because they had plenty of space for it, and I also did like a back patio thing with a grill and a little dining area type thing. I didn't want to like overdo it with the flowers and stuff, so I decided a hedge would be better to put around the outside near the fence and everything, and then put down a swing. And I also did some bikes, a little bike shed thing, and one of the bikes actually sized down to make it look like a kid's bike, but it wouldn't be functional if your Sims tried to use it. So if you do want to have it functional, just size it back up again using the bracket key. But yeah, then for the front of the garden, just wanted to keep it quite simple. I didn't want to overdo it with all like the flowers again, and yeah, I guess that's about it. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to leave you to watch the screenshots, and yeah, if you do want to download this build, it'll be on the gallery. My ID is HutchPlays. If you did, oh my god, can you hear my voice running out? It's because I've been talking for so long and I've not had a drink of water. That's another tip for me, and I'll get a drink of water right now. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like on it and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later. Bye.